Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, the 13th of August, 2022, and it is before 7:30 in the morning, and I am looking at multiple heavy pieces of equipment, machinery, um, plow through a heritage site, and there's multiple. There's like over a dozen people and construction workers, and yeah, they've completely destroyed, decimated, like I've said like so many times before, thousands of ancient trees that were very, very large, very old, and they were like protecting us from wind, from sun, from the electricity, from like that huge electrical area station that's like within like 200 meters of all of our homes now. So, and there's children here and elderly. This is the stuff that like bothers me, right? So like I know I'm annoying, but like unless people resist things, nothing changes, right? People just will continue to take, right? Until we, and that's with government too. And this is why, if people don't resist even a little bit, then there's no way out of stuff, right? Then we'll just like get even more and more control, right? There's never relinquishing control or willingly, and just because there's a lot at stake, right? There's a lot of money, there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of ego and blackmail and threats and like all that stuff, and so some people can take it and some people can't, and I do firmly believe that anyone in government that can't handle truth and reality and make good decisions based on integrity and good ethics and values and stuff like that, then like I urge you, you need to get out, because you're not helping at all. And if you're profiting and you're like controlled opposition, even if you don't know it, then I urge people to just really start I don't know doing like the internal work, and just so that we can like fix things, right? Because like the more we're fixated and focused on like our own struggles, visualized or not, because perception is reality, then we're not helping others, anyone, in a meaningful way, right? And so there's this like this victim mentality that's going on, and everyone else is the villain, and that just seems to stick, just like so many other things that are misleading us in societies, and this is why, like with heritage sites, throughout history too, they've been covered up, they've been destroyed, they've been like buried, you know what I mean? And now we just keep doing the same things, right? And I'm just doing my job. Oh, I have to put money, you know what I mean? Like I have to pay the rent, I have to pay the bills, I have to pay, put food on the table, pay for the gas. Yes, I get that. But you can do it in other ways, right? We still need to make houses. Like, I'm not saying we don't. We still need to make other areas, right? But we can also utilize the infrastructure that we already have in a better way, and then spread things out, right? So that we're not impacting people's health, right? We used to live longer, we used to breathe better, we used to have less respiratory issues, chronic illnesses. Pandemic response would be like would be mitigated like enormously if we just allowed there to be like ecosystems, like more of it, because there's no excuse for this. Canada is the second largest country in the world. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's actually true, but that's what we're being told. And I've driven across it, multiple times over multiple weeks, and I can say that it's large, and there's a lot of it that's not lived on. And so instead of just like continuing to do these like small little concrete jungles that are causing harm, it's ineffective. And when you increase electrical output in areas too, it impacts, again, like not only our hearts, because they're electrical, and our brains and our bodies with the chronic inflammation, with the pulsing and stuff like that. But people can lose hair. There's fertility issues, explosions, and the loud noises. This perpetually keeps us in, like, subconsciously in a fight or flight mode, right? And the way I can see that and observe that on my own, as I make assessments with my animals and with children, and with people in the area, with the birds, and with other things, and seeing the responses that it's eliciting. And they've been doing this around the entire area now for years, and this is not okay. All right, like this, like we're just tolerating it because we're polite, and you know what I mean. We appreciate like how we live and where we live, but like let's keep it, please, and let's stop ruining it, because this is what causes issues in all these major cities that we're seeing right now, with just how they're designing it. The city planning is not great. It used to be so much better thousands of years ago, even, and what are now being used as parliamentary buildings and schools and museums and all these things. Like I've said before, that this is like these were used for other things, and we're just reclaiming it and lying about it and lying about people's history and stuff like that. And it's just, and things like this that are going on again. This is what keeps us perpetually stuck too, right? Because like this is distracting. You know what I mean? And like I like to meditate in the morning, like, as the sun's coming up, because that's the time of day when the rays are more healing. It's more of a glow. It's in a more sacred position and stuff like that. And so like I mean that I'm not just making this stuff up, right? And so it's like I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me or anyone. I'm just letting people know this is what keeps us harmed and makes things worse, not better, when there's better solutions that actually help people. So Glenn Gowan, he's the city mayor here in Stittsville, and I've emailed him before. I've sent videos. I've sent this to Pierre and other in his team, and like forestry people, and asked them to push this to like engineers, and give them the examples about like the health stuff and how like when they destroyed these trees, it also again like removed all of our protection, our privacy. The privacy is big too, right? Because me being diagnosed with complex PTSD, and also having a life where like I'm more at risk of even people, you know, targeting me, and my life has been threatened again multiple times, right? And so when they removed all that protection from me, for example, like I can now see like the roads, like all like hundreds of houses and stuff like that. It's very distracting. People can see inside my house, and so like I'm now an easy target, and that's another like layer of security too. So like I don't even go outside in my backyard or anything like that too. Again, because like there's people literally like right outside my fence, and they look in, you know, and I get it, you know what I mean. I'm not ugly or anything like that, but like just like don't make it so freaking obvious. Oh my god. But anyway, but I get it. um, and I still appreciate being looked at, obviously. So like again, it is what it is. But like yeah, so like they could be doing great things, you know what I mean, doing repairs. Like my house needs repairs. I've offered to pay double, you know what I mean, to get this done and stuff like that. And it's been 2.5 months, and with insurance, and it's been like I'm being ghosted, right? And so like there's like multiple people like inside my backyard, like you know what I mean, like daily now for months, and then like in outside like in literally 200 meters like down my road for years, and I can't get someone inside my house, and like just pick my stuff. Anyway, venting. Oh my god. But yeah, like even with older trees, like I said before too, like when like people like willingly, you know, just did their jobs, then this is what caused like a lot of like damage to the world, right? And so like you like, really got to understand, you know what I mean, like what impact we're making and where, and if we can expand outward and just like have like larger antennas or satellites up in the sky, you know what I mean, like with maybe like antennas like below, I don't know, so it can be like the cross connection, like whatever you want to call it, but our, you know, our electricity and stuff like that is it's ground antennas and stuff like that. So again, like the more we know about like the environment and how things work, like magnetism, electricity, and water, and the environment, and trees, and all this stuff, like the better off we are. We just need to start talking to each other. So oh my goodness, yeah, because like the truth doesn't hurt at all. It's lies that hurt, and this is what keeps us having all these like resets when they're like this, like the man-made ones, like the self-induced ones, because there may or may not be like natural cycles that like cause like cataclysmic events, and those could be man-made too, right? So like, I think it might be both, because there is a divine being or creator, or I think multiple that are like that transcend this like this multi-dimensional simulation is what I think this is, but it's like on a flat plane with a dome, with all the science and observations and research that I've done myself, and that I've seen others do and share, and the discussions, and like again just going through so yeah, this is all interesting things. But I just wanted to go. Oh yeah, and like more government lies. Like I really do hope that people look at what Eric Dubé does put out there online, what's not censored, and get a good VPN with an upgraded package. Try to get like where like you don't have any ads or malware or trackers, and like connect your IP address to like different countries even, so that you can get like different variations of censorship in your searches and stuff like that too. And look at old books too, right? So like a lot of the stuff I'm looking at online, people are like, oh well, you can't like just look at things that are online. And I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah, you're right. But I'm also like, what they're saying, and even the books that they're showing online, I'm not even taking that at face value. I'll take those books, I'll buy them, or I'll look at them, I'll look in a library or whatever, chapters or Indigo, and then I'll just make sure that like even like the wording in the books that they're showing on videos or photos are edited. Like I want to make sure that they're not edited, right? And so and that's why like I have so many different Bibles, so many different cult books or whatever you want to call it. Like I have like so many books. Like anyway, and even like with science, anatomy, and cosmology and theosophy and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, like with the there were people in the FBI that and CIA and other areas, and there's crisis and riot actors too. But I'll get into that. That that are involved in all of these like protests and riots and border stuff and war stuff and they're repeat actors and like we're able to like share photos now of like repeat actors and like they travel a lot too, right? They're getting better at it now because like now we're like just sharing more and more. Like there's families, there's pregnant women. They use like you name it, they use it, and they make good money, right? So like I understand, right? But it doesn't make it right, okay? So like if you are a like a crisis actor or a riot actor or things like that, and you're not doing it to train like people that you want, you know what I mean, to be trained in this stuff to like help in a meaningful way, like your society and institutions and stuff like that, then like I don't know, you're not helping. You're actually doing the opposite. What you're doing is you're eliciting emotional responses in people, and you're directing people, literally rehearsals and stuff like that being done even on Capitol grounds like within the days and weeks prior, and that's verifiable, which is why there's a retrial. And so there have been like just like recently in the last few weeks again, like the FBI like like it's coming out that they there was like a kidnapping and like other attempt kidnapping and entrapment plots. Like, this happens all the time, but it was against like government officials that they, again, all about politics and because of their political affiliations, which to me is appalling. Like that is not what Canadians that is not what, not Canadians, that's not what citizens want anywhere, right? They don't want people just like targeting people, you know what I mean, if they're trying to do a good job or if they're trying to like impact change, or just because like you don't want, you know, them to like win in your mind because like it's about ego. I don't understand politics, like the whole ego thing. But so the FBI person that like literally was involved in this, instead of being suspended, well, fired, instead of being suspended again, no, that's not fair. Instead of being suspended and investigations done to make sure that this was all like accurate information, because a lot of character assassination goes on everywhere in all levels of employment over the world, and so but it is verifiable, and it's Stephen D'Antuono. So he is now like heading the whole investigation into the Capitol riots, and so he literally was involved in kidnapping and entrapment plans, and now he's like in charge of this, and there's no mistakes why. And even when people in the Senate are questioned about this, people in the FBI, they have no idea about like they have no idea, and they're covering it up, and they don't care, and so, but this footage is coming out more and more because of brave people that are willing to, again, risk their careers, risk their reputations, risk their lives to get this out there for people that are listening. And so, and then also the people that are listening too, obviously very brave and truth seekers and stuff like that, because I do believe that what you're getting on this channel is the truth as best as I know it, and I'm giving this information so people can make considerations in whatever capacity in their own lives moving forward that may or may not like hurt in the short term, but like but help in the long term. Even this flat plane stuff too, right? Like once you start unpacking a lot of this stuff and doing your own research on your own and experiments, then yeah, like first, like you have these breaks, like why, like oh my god, like I'm a fucking idiot, of course, you know what I mean, like for like a lot of different things, and then you settle, and then you're just like, okay, well, you know what, my life hasn't actually changed. I actually feel more confident. I have like less ego, way less ego, and insecurities and stuff like that too, and then I just like understand life more, right? It's liberating. And so I've gone through all these like whiteboards and stuff like that, but like I keep saying that in the fall, there may or may not be more lockdowns because of a possible other virus, which I've talked to a few people about. And by the way, like when I say like within government, there are like good people that are in that I'll never name that are actually like assisting everyone and like really risking their careers for sure, and lives and reputations and like all that stuff, but like currently still serving. And I hope that people remain positive and motivated, because like I think there may be a shift too, right? And so like if more stuff comes out about like all the misleading information that we've been given for many years, then then things are going to improve significantly. First, there's going to be like a bit of shock or whatever, depending on who you are. A lot of people I know, like they take a news well, and I guess maybe it's because they're used to this stuff, right? When you get more people that are used to like hard jobs, like hard labor jobs, or jobs where like you're of service, and like even that's hard to, like, regardless of the capacity, like whether it be like military or law enforcement or firefighters or paramedics or it goes across the board, like wastage removal, like electricians, construction workers, all these people, and then you compare them to people that have just been I don't know, like in a room temperature office, and huge elaborate houses their whole lives, and like never like had any form of suffering at all. They like physical suffering, you know what I mean, or even like emotional suffering. So these are the types of people that emotionally crack very easily, and physically do as well. And these are the people that are in leadership right now too. So even that Harari guy that wrote *Sapiens* and *Homo Deus*, he looks very unfit and unwell, and so he just looks like the type of person that read a lot of books, and wrote a lot of books maybe too, and then didn't go out and do the experiments or assessments, because like he just wasn't physically able to like walk a mile with even like a liter of water, you know what I mean, without being weighed down, so like let alone a rucksack. And it's like frustrating, because like I'm an intellectual too, right? But I've also like been an infantry officer. Like no one was carrying my rucksacks. I was actually helping and sometimes pushing guys and helping them with their rucksacks. Guys like way bigger than me, and this is confirmed that I never dropped out of any rucksack marches ever in my life. And I often, again, like with the heavy support weapon systems, you can never leave them behind. So if people that did drop out, right, like you have to pass it on, right? So there's been times where I've had like the Call G over me, like the C6, and like a fucking radio, and then I'm like, okay, like, and we're like going up and down these like hills in Gagetown, and people like passing out everywhere, and like these are all really good things too, right? Like we warriors need to have physical and mental challenges throughout their lives. And a lot of movies that we see too, right? Like when you see like even Vikings or indigenous tribes or colonials, or like in like previous wars and stuff like that, there's a lot of people playing sports, a lot of men playing sports, a lot of women doing other things, but also like the like people that were of service or whatever like that, like they were like they trained daily, but in like fighting skills of various capacities, of fitness, and dowels and swords, and you know what I mean, and like bow and arrows and stuff like that, and so we used to do a lot more of that, and now it's just we have our Canadian Armed Forces, as of the last couple of weeks, not even a joke, men can wear skirts in uniform. Men can wear skirts in uniform, and I don't like it. And like people can have like different colored hair, and it is what it is, right? Like like even when I was in the infantry, right? Like I in the Green Army, like I used to just to sort of like tease, I guess, like our senior NCOs and Sergeant Major, because they were super controlling too, and they had to be. But like some people sometimes, I don't know, like you need to lighten up a bit, especially in this type of an environment, when you've lost people that you've cared about, when you're always away, when you're always training, when you're always of service, and like you're still getting shit on by everyone. Like it's very intense, right? And like you're managing the lives of like so many people, you know what I mean, that you don't want to ever be hurt. And I can relate to that. Sorry. That's why I do this 24/7. Oh, where was I going with that? I get so distracted because like I just get so passionate. Oh yeah. So like I would leave my bottom button undone. And they would be like, Captain do so, or like Lieutenant do so, or like whatever my rank was at the time, or just like, you know what I mean, like Don, stop it. And I would be like, what? Like what is this harming or whatever? And anyway, and even like not blousing my combat boots, and like people hated that too, and I'm just like I have my own reasons, and I'm and anyways, so like there's I could be a bit of a hypocrite too, but like there's reasons behind some things, but like I still was like properly turned out, right? And so and yeah, and I was still tactical and operationally effective and stuff like that, and my hair wasn't, like, anyway, distracting, because that's another thing too, when things are distracting, like that can also um cause harm, needless harm, right? Like when you're supposed to be focusing like heavily even on timings, or like each hour, or like an approach, or an advance. Actually, sorry, like I'm distracted because I'm literally looking at like 3 or 4 huge ass cranes literally smashing through. Like, I hate this. I don't like this. I don't know if you even see it, but I also remembered when I was in phase 4 infantry. Like that's the light armored vehicle phase, so like what looks like tanks or whatever like that, and it's called the gentleman's course, and I like that name too, right? And I never wanted them to change it, and so yeah, it is what it is. But we used to mess around a lot with people, especially me and like a couple of other friends that I hung out with who were shit disturbers, but really fun. But like if people would sleep in the labs before we'd have to like dismount during hasty attacks or like other like attacks or whatever, sometimes we'd like carabiner like the helmets to like the light armored vehicle, like either the netting or like part of the poles or whatever like that were inside. And then we'd like just be super super quiet, and then say like dismount, 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 or whatever, because that was like what we'd have to say. And then like the person would like wake up, like, and just like, and just like try to go out and like fall backwards because of the helmets, which is unsafe too, but like still fun. But and then there's also been times too, like one time in particular, this is why I'm going with this, because things can be distracting, but there was one guy, we called him M12. Not a bad guy at all, but just need to relax a little bit. But like, don't we all, like, even me, Jesus? But like, it was one attack or whatever like that, and he was in charge in our light armored vehicle, and each vehicle has like multiple people depending on like the amount of people in a platoon, I guess, but like between 7 and 11 people. But anyways, in the back, like, you don't really get like, it's big large men with like a lot of equipment and me, but so like when he slept one time, like I took my stud later markers and I painted lipstick on him. Like the red, I put it on his lips. I think I might have, or maybe it was Vic. Oh, I shouldn't say names on here, oh my god. Anyway, like might have did like blush or something like that. And then we had really serious staff. That's actually why we did it, because they needed to lighten up too, and it was a good idea. I think it was actually suggested by my friend. But so when he like ran out, like no one was telling him that, like, because he was asleep when we did this and he didn't know, and so no one told him. We're like, we'll just keep this and see if anyone notices or whatever, because we meet up with other light armored vehicles and other people dismount, and other people like you know what I mean, are assessing us too, like staff that are higher ranking than us and supposed to be mean. And yeah, and so like he like was like running and like trying to like give orders to people that are like, what the fuck? They're like looking at him, he doesn't know why, and he's just kind of like trying to like with his like notepad FMP or whatever, and he's just like what, like, you know what I mean? And then she's trying to like assess the situation and like talk to his other like like section leaders and stuff like that, and like no one's taking him seriously. And then like the staff come and they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with your face? And then he finally, and they're like, bro, look in the mirror. And so he like takes out his compass and he looks in like the mirror thing in it, and it's just like, he was so mad. But that was just an example of how things can be distracting. And that was just lipstick and a little bit of blush, right? So can you imagine, blue hair, like in a huge beard and like a skirt, but like a tack vest. I don't know, and like sleeves. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see how this rolls out. I just think that we are crumbling, and I'm just watching it with popcorn. I don't like this, but yeah. Anyway, so, but I don't like. I'm hoping that people just like don't like adopt like as much of the craziness that's going on, because the people that are in charge right now, they're part of this agenda. I'm looking at a whiteboard now. Okay, so I've talked about the fact that like all these institutions right now are being run and led by the same families and friends that have been in charge during various times in various capacities, based on the progress of the societies that they were in during different cycles and generations. They've been doing this for at least thousands of years that we know of, that they're actually admitting to, and that we're able to like make assessments on. Because if you look at old texts and hidden symbology and occult stuff that have been discovered and unleashed, um, sometimes intentionally and sometimes not. And then old art and things that have not been destroyed, then you could see like just how far back it goes. And they admit it, and you can look at like even like they write their names in these groups, like the Freemasons. There's like buildings all over the world, and so and they people do meetings all the time, and they post it online. You can look at their schedules. You can try to join if you want. They have like the names of the people that are in it, so they don't hide this stuff, right? Because it's just like if you're a Christian, it's basically what it is, right? If you identify as a Christian, or if you identify like as a Buddhist or as an atheist or whatever, it's like the it's or a Rosicrucianist or a Satanist or a Luciferian person, or you go down the list, right? Then yeah, it's the same thing. And so and when you look at the books, like there's good and bad to like things that are written, right? And it seems that they want people to be of service and think beyond themselves, and live in a meaningful way, seek knowledge, like try to live like a virtuous life. But the whole honesty thing would be better because we can handle it, and that's where they get me, right? Because like I know that like when you put parameters on things, and then you see it for what it is and why, then like if there's a sinister or evil like element to it, then unfortunately, like I've said before, this is what causes us to annihilate ourselves. And we've done this before in the past. If I look at like aerial photos and views of like different regions in the world, it looks like there have been blasts, explosions, or cataclysmic events that have happened that are not natural to the environments, or don't make sense to be something that would be natural to environments. But and so like sudden events is what I mean of unnatural degrees. And so and this is what we're, and there's been like recorded history, you know what I mean, where like civilizations and people have been wiped out, right? And so yeah, it's just they exploit that. Oh yeah, and even in different institutions, I'll say, where there's the like where women are considered inferior, these are also designed that way. It's controlled opposition, and it's also a way to make women slaves, you know what I mean, and be obedient and subservient, because then it's easier, right? Like women throughout history have been, you know, like a lot of bad things have happened. I don't think I need to like relay it all to like people, and men too. I'm not dismissing that at all, but once you put it in like rules and laws and institutions where like it's where you will be punished by death or acid or the harm to your children and families and stuff like that, unless you like blindly obey people that you are not attracted to or don't want to be with, then like there's these are controlled like issues, like, you know what I mean. And I don't care what anyone says about this. Like I have a cognitive science background too. Like I've gone through my own traumas. I've listened to enough stories from people that have gone through varying degrees of healing, I guess, or succumbing to like just not being able to handle things. And so yeah, like I have the experience to talk about these things. Sorry, my dog got really distracting, and so like I even forget what I was talking about now. Freemasons. Oh yeah, and so yeah, there's like even religions where like really young children are married off to like family members that are in their 40s and 50s, and I see this today even in Canada, and so yeah, we're a multicultural society and stuff like that. But these are things that we should probably it's not my business or place to again dictate or control any of these things. And this is why like when government does it to me, like it really frustrates me, because I'm not doing it to you. And like anyway, where was I going with this? These are things that are wrong for various reasons, because of the stages of development too in a child, that I know physically and mentally. For me, I don't think that this is a good thing, and I do see that there's a lot of troubling behavior that does get created in children throughout adulthood when they are like exposed to like these types of experiences, like, you know what I mean, having children like as children under the age of 16, getting married, being with men that are like decades older than them, you know what I mean, and like having like no ability to be free or even talk or be educated or, you know, be outside the house or even show their hair or eyes or even talk to other men. Like this is not like and people embrace this and people don't. It is what it is. But these are just things that I think possibly that we should just question more. I don't necessarily know if you would want that to be forced on yourself or your own children. And so if this is happening even here, this is something that unless we address it and make decisions on it, it's going to continue, and things often regress or degenerate. They don't get better, right? And so unless again we fight things in a peaceful way. And yeah, and just regarding that, and so even with the Freemasons too, they don't allow women. I guess we're not intellectual enough, even though there are women I know that are very, very smart, that do see beyond the globe Earth model, that do question Carl Sagan and Charles Darwin and Dawkins and Einstein and so many people, Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson and so many very famous or infamous intellectuals, and we are debunking what they've claimed and the theories that they've put forth. And so I would just urge or recommend that maybe, because what you keep doing is not helping ever, and you keep eventually wiping each other out, or people try to resist, and then because of that you wipe everyone out, which is not fair either. Maybe just tell the truth. Go in these areas that you want to go to and hide out, you know what I mean, or whatever. But just I don't know, if there was more honesty on this stuff, then we wouldn't be hurt so much. So even these pandemics for years now, they've been doing this, and I think longer than even decades too, where they go to different areas with different treatments, whether it be therapeutics or like orals or like different types of remedies. And it's always been designed where there's a couple of cases, and it's always on these very specific days during these very specific times, and it's released, and it's very specific amounts of people. And then once other people get involved and the media gets involved, and this is incentivized and dramatized and grossly over indulged, I don't know what you would call it, over sensationalized, anyways, exaggerating, it's all propaganda, right? Then this allows people to monopolize on the fear. People are like, oh my god, this is spreading, this is a thing, people are dying, oh my god, blah blah blah, and and they're and here you go, and then they take these things, and then these things are causing spread, you know what I mean, of to other people, and then also causing them harm and injury as well, and so we keep doing this. And polio is a great example from even over a decade ago. I've shared links to scientific reviews that have been done. There's so many online, and again, get off censored browsers, and then take a look at these things. I think I've been able to at least post that again on LinkedIn. I'm not sure, but I have a Word document with multiple government, medical, scientific studies and stuff like that on it. That just really, it's enough. It's overwhelming data to end mandates. You know what I mean, to stop, you know what I mean, what we're doing immediately, and just stop, and then make assessments for how we're going to proceed forward. It's going to take a couple of weeks of unpacking stuff, and so conveniently we have a leader who is in Costa Rica right now for a couple of weeks, and then you've got people like me that are still trying to reach people like him or him, and then just say, you know what I mean, we're not all suckers. We know you lie about things, and we know you and your family have been doing it for many years, and yeah, it's not like people want your job or to be in your shoes, and you know what I mean, and it is what it is. But because I'm okay being of service, military or cop or whatever, fire, construction worker, in any job, if I knew that I wasn't being lied to by the people that I'm giving my money to manage other things that I just don't have the capacity or the time to manage because I'm dealing with other things, right? I know a lot of guys that are would be incredible in cabinet, would be incredible guys and girls, sorry, and because they're the whole package, right? But these are the people of service that I know that are very, very smart, because they had to have certain qualifications and things like that and standards in order to get into their lines of work, and then there was like training done for like a long period of time. And again, this was like physical, mental, emotional training, right? And like high level stuff, right? So like a lot of people that I know that are very, very, very smart and intellectual, they are also very, very fit, very, very strong, and very, very trained, right? And so they love working for people, right? They love being of service, they love being protectors, they love or they love building things for people, or even, like helping with electricity, like even plumbers, like that I know, or people that do waste removal, because they know that these are important jobs, you know what I mean, that are keeping everyone like literally healthy too. um, and so yeah, these are all important jobs, right? And these are jobs that they value. They just don't like being lied to. Even truckers, right? The people that I know, they have hard lives, and they don't want to be in an office or on TV, entertaining people. Like a lot of people don't want that. So if anyone thinks that by telling the truth, that it's gonna make people like want your jobs or your like lives, no one does, right? And definitely not. And especially because like a lot of us do also know what you have done, or what people that have done on your personal time with our money, or even without our money, but with our money. Like, let's get clear with this. And yeah, so yeah, like I know that with the surveillance, that we're in multiple areas that you have gone. I know there's temptation, blah 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 blah. And again, like I've been tempted, you know what I mean, more than most people too, because I was a woman, first female infantry officer in the history of the regiment. I had a lot of good attributes, right, that were also appealing, right? It wasn't just about like my career position, because a lot of people do like women of authority, but I was also fit, and like some people like fit women, and I was also like not crazy. And so, well, I mean, that's up for debate, but well, they say crazy, but again, like I was cheated on in all my relationships, and so like it just gets upsetting sometimes. Like I don't know if that's necessarily someone that's being crazy or just like upset, but anyway, where was I going with that stuff? Freemasons, reset, flat Earth. Like even blood and genetic editing and experimentation has been done for much longer than we've been led to believe. And that's why we have different blood types, and there's way more blood types. Again, there's like not just like the ABO, AB, and then the negative and positives. There's like 40 some that we know of now. And so this is why I'm being led to believe that if there's like a dome firmament above, which because of rockets that are being sent up by independent researchers now, and then being like uncensored on different platforms like BitChute and Rumble and stuff like that, and even YouTube actually is able, we're able to get around algorithms if you just like title things differently, or yeah, there's ways that you can get around things, or just like don't explain what's on the video, or if you do it in a subtle way, or don't like do a description, because even with like metadata, like they can look at words, and then like that can like instantly like remove videos immediately, or videos. And then you've got people that report people that are emotionally weak, that when they look at a video or a picture and it questions their reality, that it's offensive now, and because of that, they believe that people need to suffer like they are in their heads. And anyways, and this is why the censorship stuff is very, very dangerous, because we are mentally abusing people 24/7, not just through social media and all this stuff, but I'm saying like the big lies that we are telling people with the moon landings, with space, with planets, with NASA, with RASA, with FASA, with like ISS, with so many things. And when we could be using this money in a better way, and duping people is not the answer, again, because if this is like a research experiment, like this whole like simulation that we're living in, then this is my solution. It's literally just being honest about the world, the reality that we're in. You know what I mean? Like just like everyone that works in like it's a certain like term, like there's no like inherited wealth, as we see it now, unless it comes from like a noble place, and not because your family murdered people or wiped people out for like by various means, or knew that like things were gonna happen, like by virtue of like cycles that happened, and that you knew about, so that you left and you hid and you exploited, and then you allowed people to die like you do all the time. Stop doing that. And then just like this is how we get balance and harmony back in the world, because we've had advanced civilizations in the past we've cooperated together, multiple different races and skin colors and designs and species and races and plant life and animal life and environments and ecosystems and stuff like that. And and it was, and there were better times, and we had, and there's proof of this even with the infrastructure that they haven't torn down yet, right? Like these parliament buildings and these museums and stuff like that, these like old religious buildings, these mosques, palaces, and like monuments, and these places prove that there have been times that we have all lived way more in harmony, less division, none of this propaganda, controlled media, controlled opposition, none of this stuff, none of these lies, none of this deceit, none of this making fun of people when you lie are the ones that are lying to them. Oh yeah, and so like another point, if anyone that is like a controller or elite, that like if you somehow happen to like listen to this video, like again, I'm not insane, so like I know that's very unlikely, but yeah, I mean, if you think you're so much smarter and better than us, then like why are people figuring it out on their own, even though you and your families for thousands of years have like literally designed this entire plane to like you've like misled us all, you know what I mean? And we still figured it out. Like, and so like I don't think that you would have figured it out if you were in the same position. And so this is another thing you have to consider, is like, are you better than us and superior to us, and do we deserve all this stuff? Or are you, anyway, I don't want to get into that stuff, but let me see, I'm looking at my whiteboard, like I said. And so even with like different diseases or illnesses, like there are ones that impact different blood groups differently as well. And yeah, so if in the fall there's like food shortages and gas shortages and power outages and solar flares, which again, like I don't think that's a thing, because if this is like a two-dimensional, like reflected like luminary that's in another area of the world, but still like, you know, doing the rotation, then how is it possible like for a two-dimensional thing to have solar flares? And so like it's obviously something that's like electrical magnetic in nature that causes these like outages and like whatever we want to call it, or people intentionally jamming areas for various reasons, for security or not. And yeah. And so if we were on these things, we wouldn't get duped. And so even with what's going on in Europe as well, if people of various capacities of service, if they knew what we were being misled about, I don't know if as many people would have went. I don't know if we would have given as many resources. I know that a lot of Canadians wouldn't have supported what's going on because again, like of things that I know, and just regarding the like even the staged coup that happened in 2015, all the money laundering, the biolabs, and like even Russia. Again, like I'm not pro Russia, like Russia as well. Like they have resources that they want to like exploit or monopolize on, and they're taking this time to like build allies with like very, very strong countries, or perceived, you know, strong countries and stuff like that too. But again, like these like all leaders in all countries work together, and if they don't, then the ones that are in charge, they usually get like really bad endings. And yeah, so like if there are leaders, you know what I mean, in the world that want to be like better and they need security, or you need security, like I know a lot of people that are high level that would absolutely be of service to people, and protect them if like, especially knowing, you know what I mean, that knowing what they want to do. Because like, yeah, like there are people that risk their lives daily for people. So like this is not a like an unusual like thing to grasp, right? And myself included. So I didn't realize how long this video was. I've been going on forever, and so on that note, I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend.